So good morning. My name is Greg Gallant, and these are my teammates, Jeremy Gross and Dhaval Desai. We're excited to show you an app that we conceived and developed over the past week that we believe has the potential to become popular and widely used in the marketplace. Our working title is Great Seats, and the concept and future evolution of this app is to become a consolidator of information and ticket availability for live entertainment. The premise and motivation behind the application is to make the search for both retail and resale tickets much more convenient for the user, thereby eliminating the need for searching multiple sources. Our application, using APIs from several different sources, will bring together the information in a user-friendly, convenient app, making the search both simple and efficient, while also entertaining and fun for the user, as you'll see in a few minutes. This is why we believe the app has the potential to attract a large user base across many demographics. In this early concept version that you'll see, we have an app that is both mobile ready and user friendly with some of the proposed functionality already in place. So for the next few minutes, please allow us to show you what we accomplished in a very short period of time. Jeremy and Dhaval will now demo the app, and then we'll discuss the design process and the code. After that, we'll talk briefly about what we learned from this experience of working as a team and collaborating on the project.
All right, so just to give you a quick walkthrough of the different functions of the app. So you can see right here we have a carousel showing a series of different images. Oh, of course. So just to quickly walk through the different functions of the app, we have just this carousel, sort of slideshow, introductory stuff, and we're going to go right down here to a map. And let's focus in on the area where we're located right now. Actually, let's zoom to it. We did that with the home button there. So yeah, New Brunswick. We're going to click on New Brunswick and see what's happening. This is by default within I believe a 5-mile radius, although that can be adjusted with this drop down. And now you'll see a table here. And this is a table of results that were returned from the SeatGeek API, which is a very comprehensive database of live entertainment and also sports events that we used. So here's some results. So you can click on, let's pick the first one. I'm not a Broadway fan, not my thing, but and it should show it worked. So, and then it shows you a clip of whatever you've chosen at the bottom here, drawn from YouTube, along with some key details about the event, including anything from a low price to a high price, where apparently you get to hang out with the cast and things like that. So the tape, and then the table itself was formatted. Well, we'll come back to the what we actually used in a moment. And then one final thing you'll see at the bottom here. This is the one last functional part of our site. You'll see that you have the opportunity to enter a review of a show or a venue itself, and then you'll see right here when you click on that, it'll show you all the reviews that we currently have in the database. If anybody would like to see me add one here, just to prove to you. Yeah, great. It was a great show, and now, as you see right there, there's my gibberish. There, it's been added. And those I think are all the basic. That's just everything. Yeah, that's everything right there. And then, as you can see right here, you can also sort alphabetically by artist or venue if you wish.
As often it's often the case, simple things are making a big difference. So if you'll scroll down a little bit to where you get the YouTube.
Yeah.
once you find something that piques your curiosity and select it, you have all your information right there in front of you. It gives you all the event details and a YouTube window where you can explore.
So I believe now we're just going to do a quick walkthrough of the code and what we use to make this site happen and work. And I think Greg's going to just discuss in very quick detail the front-end components.
You want to bring up the map?
Yeah.
Bring up the map code. So, this is a mobile app. It's intended to work very easily with simply clicking on an iPad, an iPhone, or probably less likely on a computer. But because it's mobile friendly, we wanted the interface to be simply a touch and click interface. And we drove the first API as SeatGeek. That's where we glean all the data for the entertainment events. What happens is when the user clicks on the map, then those, first of all, we're geocoding. Okay, I forgot to mention. When you first start the app, we're getting a geolocation of the user's current location, and that's where the map centers. It zooms at about the level of 8, so it's pretty close, but maybe 30 or 40 miles you can see on the map. And if you look here, I have a init map function here, which is driven by the geolocation that's taken off the browser. One of the challenges that we encountered early on was with Chrome, and I learned something very significant, that when you're running a local file in Chrome, which we of course were during development, geolocation was disabled. So I came up with a kind of a catch-all. It wasn't likely to happen unless somebody that was running this off of a server decided not to allow geolocation, but I guess that happens occasionally. And in either case, whether we were developing using Chrome or a user had disallowed geolocation, I decided, because we're at Rutgers Bootcamp, to use Rutgers as the fallback. But of course, that's very unlikely. Most people using the app will, of course, allow their geolocation. The map will center there. And then the first thing they would do is click on a spot where they want to have a radius of searches. So if you look here, the map is created with this code, and then the map is given a listener. So it's ready to receive clicks. At that point, we have the latitude and the longitude, and then we feed it into a function where we can glean a zip code. I'm going to turn it over to Jeremy at this point, and he'll go through some of the other functionality.
Sure. So just to highlight a couple of things, since we don't have time to go through the entirety of the code. When we retrieved, the biggest challenge was first interpreting the JSON data that came back from SeatGeek, which was quite comprehensive, and then also sorting it and selecting data, because SeatGeek, the API itself, didn't give the kind of sorting and filtering options that we needed in many cases. So we did we had to do a lot of that ourselves in our own code rather than through the API call. So what we did was we loaded all the relevant data in from basically from the JSON object, plugged it into an array of objects that we created using an object constructor, and that array of objects would last until the next would be then reset the next time you load in a new search. And the other highlight is that we used, of course, Firebase to store and to retrieve reviews, and that was done just through the Firebase object. Those are some of the key highlights of the back end work. And then finally, I think we wanted to discuss a little bit about just what we learned from the experience of doing this project, if you'd like to. Yeah,
I think some of the big takeaways for myself personally, Number one, working with a team was actually a fantastic experience. I actually loved the collaboration and the modularity that it really required. Yeah, I certainly learned that building the blocks of an app can be done by individuals building different blocks and plugging them in and making them all work together. That was an awesome thing, especially my perspective going back a long time as a coder. That wasn't even possible at most of the time, years and years ago. So I love that. We learned how to use GitHub much better than I think we learned that we knew initially. So that was excellent. Communication was really important during the process of branching and pushing and merging, and that was a very good learning experience.
And then finally for me, the highlight was learning to, for example, read Greg's code or read another developer's code in the case of sample code, read through it, get what's happening, and then adapt it or work with it, or when communicating with Greg while we're coding, make suggestions, and not to spend and to be able to understand what's going on relatively quickly. And that takes a lot of practice. I found this was a great opportunity to get better at that. And also the same I would say the same thing about Git as well. But that was a highlight for me.
So we have one more second to talk about future.
Yeah.
Oh,
just quickly. I had the good fortune to be paired with two extraordinary coders, and just by going over their code and watching what they did and talking to them, I learned quite a bit. These guys are really, really good. So
we had a good group dynamic.
So one last thing. What we hope to bring to this app in the future is to actually have many more API calls where we have the the live entertainment data coming in. So we really can be a consolidator and make this kind of the app to go to for people that want to have an efficient and streamlined approach to finding live entertainment, both resale and retail. So thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Cool. Two things. So I just want to Dan, I don't know if he's here, but he got hurt and was like popped up on painkillers, but still somehow managed to, code, which is really significant. So, and then also you all, like I'm sure many groups, ended up switching to another idea.
Yes.
You like lost a day or two. Can you talk about that?
Sure. Yeah, be happy to. Initially, the first draft idea was going to be a type of real estate info search idea that also worked off of a mapping scheme. But we decided, A, that it started to turn into nothing but just recreation of what was already on the Zillow website, and number two, that we realized that it was the first idea we grabbed onto under conditions of pressure, but it wasn't an idea that we were ultimately really truly motivated by and wanted to spend 2 weeks coding around. And that's when we reconvened a couple of days later. We had a group discussion, and we settled on the entertainment search concept instead, which still preserved the mapping idea that we really liked.
Initially, the front end of this app was something that we were designing ourselves, and to be honest, I think we all realized it wasn't up to the level that we wanted to display. So we found this incredible incredible template on a Bootstrap, and by the way, the first one was Bootstrap, but it wasn't great. We found this incredible template, and I think that we all agree that seeing the beauty and the functionality of the template motivated us and gave us more ideas about where we could bring the app, because it kind of opened up the possibilities. And that only happened on this past Tuesday, where we totally ditched what we had front end wise and started started adapting our code to the new template. That was really a big turning point for us, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Are we here? Please.
Just one last thing is we also wanted something that would make us excited, you know, something that we would enjoy working on. And originally that didn't happen, so we changed course.
I think Jeremy will send email to PhD. Oh,
I know what you're talking about.
That was maybe the.
That's something that we removed. We made a decision to remove. It was just part of that template. That section that was originally would have maybe been used for emails or what have you. We refashioned into a review submission form, and we found that it matched that need pretty well. So we got rid of that. But thank you for asking.
Also, one last question. Is there a reason that you guys chose to render JavaScript locally as opposed to using script source tags?
As opposed to what?
Yeah, jQuery, Bootstrap, Modernizer, all that on your repo versus like requiring it on your HTML.
Is there a reason?
Yeah.
The reason is that we didn't really consider it. We were busy, and we just we wanted to have a working app, and we probably didn't look at some of those details.
But the load. Thank you.